What's happening, party people? So I'm not at 100% yet, but I feel like I'm okay enough for today's stream. Really sorry that I was dying all last week and I missed a lot of October streams. I missed quite a few. But I got my tea, I got my notes, and I'm ready to talk about what was going on this month. So, right up top, I am going to say, I'm not gonna be talking in depth. I guess that's actually a good place to start. So October is basically over, unless there's a huge announcement in the next, 5 days? So, Game Freak and Nintendo. I don't want to... I mean, besides the fact that I still don't agree with a lot of their practices and what's been going on, at least in regards to the Power World stuff, there were a number of leaks, separate leaks. I just have some notes here. I'm not going to talk about them in depth because I don't like talking about leaks like this in a lot of... for a number of reasons. So, specifically for the Game Freak leaks that happened earlier this month, a lot of personal information from employees, lots of employees. Current employees, past employees, almost everybody that's ever worked for Game Freak had a lot of information leaked, and that's not cool. So that's one reason why I don't want to really get too in-depth with them. But also, there's a reason stuff was cut. There's a reason that a lot of this... there's a reason a lot of stuff was cut, but also I don't like hearing about leaks for future projects. I feel the same way about this as I did about the Insomniac leaks from last year. It's not... Video games, for as much as they are commodified, are still an artistic endeavor. And, you don't release something until it's done.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's make some noise!
Ah! Arrow, thank you so much for the resub. Alright. What was I saying? Yeah, so video games are still an artistic art form, artistic medium, and you don't release stuff until you're comfortable with it. Oh, I'm doing good, Arrow. How are you doing? You don't release stuff until you're comfortable with it, until you're ready for it to see the light of day. And leaks are always it always sucks, Nobody wants that to happen, It's so unfortunate for the people working on stuff to have their, not just obviously their personal information leaked, but for their stuff to be shown to the public before it's ready. I think Grand Theft Auto 6 was another big one where this happened. Somebody leaked a alpha build of GTA 6, and they were like, man, this game looks like it's going to be dog shit. And Rockstar completely scrapped it and had to start over. Yeah, and I think that always comes down to the developer, depending on the culture of the developer. I mean, if you're in Asura's Wrath, if anybody remembers Asura's Wrath, you can always just release the ending as a DLC later. Anyway, yeah, I just wanted to right up top say that I'm not going to be talking about the Game Freak or the Nintendo leaks ad nauseum. Just general bullet points of we live in an era. So, Game Freak had some leaks. Lots of employee information got leaked. A lot of Pokemon stuff just throughout the history of Pokemon got leaked. if people are interested in that, they can look it up themselves. I'm not gonna go too much into that. There was also a Nintendo leak. Nintendo was playtesting a new like online service game, and they just didn't disable screen capturing. They didn't disable any of that like sharing functionality, and people were like immediately like streaming it to Twitch and all that stuff. I don't know too much about it, and you know what? Again, it's that one is a little more on Nintendo, but still, it's like early access stuff. They didn't want the general public to see it right away, and so, you know, if people are interested, they can look it up themselves, but I'm not going to waste oxygen on it. Not too much oxygen anyway. No! Ah, cool. The little tassel for the tea bag just fell in my tea. Alright, that's fine. It's just going to be sticky. Or Lou said, sure. Like, yeah. And that's also the other thing is like, because that was the majority of the stuff that got shared was all of the freaky shit. But like I said, I don't like, especially in like a big public space like Twitch, I don't like talking too much about the all of those leaks and stuff, because again, like, not only was it haha funny Nintendo leaks, oops, you know, here, or Game Freak, it's like, oh, airing your dirty laundry. There was also like a lot of employees' information that got leaked, and that's never cool. So, if people are interested, they can look it up, but that's really all I got to say on it, is it's not cool. Anyway, this was a very recent one that was brought to my attention from Risen in the Discord server, which I guess right up top, if you're watching this on YouTube, there is a Discord server where we hang out, talk about this stuff as well, and all of these links will be dumped into the, there's a tab for all the information that we talk about. And so if you're interested in any of these articles, they do end up over in the Discord server after the stream, just a big, you know, list of the resources. And there's also, like, we talk about things that I'm going to play, you know, gaming recommendations for stream, as well as votes on what I play. Currently, there's a vote going on for November's Thursday game, and I think right now Resident Evil 7 is winning. Yeah. Yep, Resident Evil 7 has over half of the votes. Yeah. I think they got this. Alright. I'm excited to revisit 7. Anyway. Ooh. That feels good. Anyway. This was brought to my attention from Risen in the Discord server. So, earlier this year, I played Tales of Kinsera Zhao, which was a great game. Probably one of my favorite, definitely one of my favorite games that has come out this year, at least in, like, the top 5 for games that I've played this year. I played a lot of great games, though, this year. I was actually looking over, like, everything that I actually have played. Ooh, it's like a tight top 10. So, in kind of the same week, they announced their next project, but also, did not mean to smack my microphone. They announced their next project, Tales of Kinsera Project Uso. Come on, highlight it. There we go. But in the same breath, kind of announced that the studio does not have as much funding as they need to get the next game, to get Project Uso really off the ground. They have, I believe, a playtest demo. Is this the article that has the... Oh, it's right up top. Yeah. So this is concept art of at least how the game is going to look. Very isometric. I mean, that's fair. A PC that can run stuff, that helps. So yeah, Surgeon Studio has this concept art for Project Uso, and it's very like cyberpunk. It looks like it actually takes place in that main city that we saw at the beginning and end of Zhao, because a lot of the game took place in that spirit world. It looks like this actually takes place within that big main city that we first saw. Skip that. There it is. Okay. Making sure the music still works. And it looks very cyberpunk. It looks very cool. Very, Disco Elysium is the game that I wanna... Looks a tad Hades inspired. I mean, it just has that same isometric style. This isn't really, like, I wouldn't say that every isometric game is immediately, Hades, because all of that company's games are in this sort of, like, this is also the same kind of perspective as, oh, I just had it in my... I mean, a lot of RTSs have this look. Baldur's Gate is very, you know, camera out. And it's fine. It's not my favorite presentation style for a game, if I'm being honest. I'm not a huge fan of this isometric look, but I really like the world building that they had in the first Tales of Kensera game. So I would absolutely still check this game out if it gets funded. But unfortunately, the Zhao, which I believe was published by Ubisoft, Uso. All right. Just in skimming it, I'm not seeing it, but I'm pretty sure Zhao was published by Ubisoft, and it did not meet the projected numbers, and it was like a very unfortunate. Like, I think they might have sold below 10,000 units, at least on Steam or something. Yeah, and that's kind of what they're designed for. Is there were a lot of like SNES games before like true 3D games existed. There were a lot of SNES games that were presented in an isometric style to sort of cheat a 3D perspective. Q*bert was like one of the first ones. Like the arcade game Q*bert was presented in an isometric style along those like diagonal pyramids to like cheat that depth. And I think we've come to a point now in just in terms of what games can and can't do. We've kind of come to a point where this is now just a style choice. It's not really meant to push any boundaries anymore. This is just a pure flavor choice, which, you know, I super appreciate a game company that's willing to just try new things for all of their games. You know, there are some companies, they have their niche, you know. In terms of presentation, Super Giant, who I think I always do this. Super Giant and Supermassive are two different companies. One did like Hades and Bastion and Pyre, and the other one does the Until Dawn, Man of Medan, the Dark Pictures anthologies. I always get them confused, and it's no different now. The company that did Hades, isometric games, that's just their presentation style. That's just their bread and butter. That's how their games look. Transistor was another one. Like, they just make a lot of very nice looking games, and I'm like 80% sure Transistor was that style. Hang on. Transistor was one of the ones that I have but have not played. Hang on. Transistor. Oh, it would help if I put in Transistor game. Yeah, Transistor has that same style. Big fan of their games. Ubisoft needs to cool it with projected sales along with Squeenix. Oh, for sure. They always project like super high sales numbers. Basically, none of their games, even though their games sell more than other game companies, you know, they're always like if there's like an average, they're pushing that average up because they release a lot of games that sell a lot, but they always have like way higher projections than what are actually possible. So they always say like, oh, this game was a failure, which is super unfair. And actually, we can get into Ubisoft in a second, because the next thing I want to talk about is Ubisoft. So yeah, just in general, like, I appreciate when, so going back to whichever one, Supergiant or Supermassive, all of their games have the same, like, presentation style in terms of having this kind of isometric look, but they're all different genres. Roguelikes, sports games, action adventure, RPGs, they always do, like, tons of fun, different, like, styles of game, or genres of game in the same style, which I think is super creative and fun. But I also appreciate a studio that's willing to say, hey, this is, shared universe, like, these games are part of the same, it was Abu Salim's multimedia universe is what they're calling it. Which I'm hoping means we might get a Tales of Cansera movie, or maybe a show on, like, Amazon Prime or something. But I love a game company that's willing to say, like, hey, these two wildly different games are connected. That's really cool to me. So I really hope Project Uso, because I would hate to think that such a passionate team, like Surgeon Studios, like, I would hate to think that their dream project of just having this multimedia shared universe project, just this huge project, this huge undertaking of having multiple entries in the same universe, I would hate to think it died before it could even get started. Like, if the first thing they put out is what kills them. But the whole team has been placed on notice because they just don't have the funding. So here's hoping that something gets made, because there's a lot of talented people over there, and in particular, just Abubakar Salim, the guy that started the studio, he's been working a lot with the actual play D&D show Critical Role. So I've, like, just been seeing more of him, and just seeing, like, how he is as a guy, and he seems like a really nice guy. He seems passionate about the things that he loves, and I think, like, this project for him is, like, a huge wish, and he's making it happen, but they just need finances. Yeah, more often than not, the industry is heading in a downward spiral, and every now and then we get a gasp of fresh air of somebody that makes it, or somebody that does something cool, a team that does something original, a team that breaks the norm of, like, I think this year Balatro was a huge, like, they had no marketing, and it was just word of mouth. It was just people playing the game, loving the game, spreading, positive reviews, people spreading the word. Balatro, good game. And so they were able to kind of come up from just the neutral of the indie scene of some do well, some don't. They were able to rise above, and they got, like, a big audience, and I'm super happy for them. Again, not my kind of game, but see, Gisvit, love cards and gambling. Everybody that I know that has played it really likes it. It's one of those games where they've put, dozens of hours into it. Yeah, I know lots of people that enjoy it. It's just not my kind of game. See glimpses of promises and occasional success? Yeah. For everyone that meets or exceeds expectations, we get 10 that don't. And that's kind of leading into the next thing. It was recently announced that the Prince of Persia Lost Crown team, so this was the this was the Castlevania style. Can I play it on my phone? I don't know if it had a mobile release. I know it definitely had a Steam release, and then I know you can link your Steam account to a Steam app on your phone, and then you can stream games from your PC onto your phone. I think there is an ass backwards way of you can't play it on your phone, but I'd like to play it while I'm driving. Well, I cannot, in a public place like this, I cannot on stream advocate for you to play Balatro while you're driving, but I also can't stop you, is the thing. I don't think anybody can stop you. think a mobile release is coming, if not out already. I mean, it would make sense. It looks like a game that's pretty, not that it's, you know, a light game, but it looks like it should translate to mobile pretty easily. So, swings and roundabouts for this one. So, Ubisoft has announced that, I believe it was Ubisoft Montpellier, the Montpellier studio. Game was developed by Ubisoft Montpellier. Yeah, so, yeah, no, it was weird. There's like a few big things like right at the end. So, Ubisoft announced that the Prince of Persia reboot, the new Prince of Persia entry, Lost Crown, which was a Metroidvania style, back to like the roots of the franchise with 2D. It didn't meet, even though it's right here in the fucking article title. It was a critically acclaimed game, but it didn't meet sales expectations. Who knew that Ubisoft had high expectations and that a small budget priced game, it was like $40 at launch, which is a good price for a game. The reason I didn't play it, even though historically I've liked Prince of Persia games, and I'm kind of coming around on Metroidvanias, reason I didn't get it is because at launch there was an AI voice in the game, and it was some NPC, or maybe it was the fast travel stones. There was like a fast travel system in the game, and there was like a stone with a face. They used AI for that voice, and they basically said, we just forgot to hire somebody to record that line, and we didn't want it to be the one unvoiced thing in the game, but we are going to hire somebody to do the voice proper, and then in a future update, replace the AI voice with an actual actor. Just at launch, we didn't want to have like one randomly unvoiced NPC. Which, sure, I guess. But I basically said like, oh, I can wait until that update is out. And then it just blew by. And then I just didn't think about it. Which I think speaks to Ubisoft's bigger issue of they only have like 2 franchises that they actually give marketing to. Because like once Lost Crown came out, I heard nothing. Didn't see anybody playing it. Nothing. Which is unfortunate, because it did well. It was received well, didn't sell well. Yeah. So, unfortunately, they did announce that Montpellier Studio, which Montpellier is the company behind the Rayman games, the Raving Rabbids games, and Beyond Good and Evil. And that last one is important to note. So they announced that Montpellier would be disbanding. Real quick, good news before we move on from this. They did say that it is a very talented team, and that all of these people, all of the very talented people from this team will just be moved to work on other games, and their hope is that the critical reception of the Lost Crown can be translated into a title that they want to put more marketing into. Basically, they're like, we have the games that sell really well, but aren't received critically, super well. Cough, cough, Assassin's Creed. Even though, like, Assassin's Creed has been really hit and miss. Some of them recently have reviewed really well, some of them have not. And then some of them will review well at launch, and then people immediately get really tired of them. Cough, cough, Valhalla. I remember people were really talking up Valhalla, like, oh my god, it's a great Viking game. And then a month went past, and everybody was like, it was supposed to be an Assassin's Creed game, right? I digress. Oh, for sure. But I see what they're trying to do in that, hey, this team made a great game. Can they make a great game that we can market really well? So I think I heard that the people formerly of Montpellier will be teaming up with all the Dark Souls Assassin's Creeds were mid. Yeah, no, that's fair. I mean, I know your opinions of Assassin's Creed, and that it peaked with Black Flag. but I believe I heard that they're going to be teaming up with another one of Ubisoft's internal studios to make a new Rayman game. I didn't include that here because that was just a rumor, and people will write articles about anything. And so there was a rumor, so of course a bunch of outlets wrote articles about it. Released 50% off on Steam. Have to wonder if there's trouble with sales. So Mirage was one of the ones that I actually heard pretty good things about because it wasn't huge. It wasn't one of those huge, sprawling, 200-hour Assassin's Creed games that are usually empty and it's just you running from location to location, collectible to collectible. Mirage, I heard, was pretty tight, and it kind of went back to like the Middle Eastern roots of Assassin's Creed, which is fun. I that is one of the few recent Assassin's Creed games that I do want to check out. Valhalla doesn't really interest me. Odyssey, like, again, these are cool ideas for games where you play as a gladiator, or, a Greek soldier, or you play as a Viking, but, like, that's not Assassin's Creed. There's a dissonance there that just doesn't click with me, but Mirage sounds really cool. So I do want to try, and that also released, like, sub $60. That was, like, a $40, $50 game at launch, which is honestly pretty good nowadays. But taking that pin out for a second, Montpellier worked on Beyond Good and Evil, and this company was also this internal studio was also supposed to be working on Beyond Good and Evil 2, which was announced years ago at a Game Awards show or something, and that game was riddled with issues because they basically asked for free stuff. They said, hey, fans of Beyond Good and Evil, do you want to help with Beyond Good and Evil 2? You can just give us music and assets and we'll pay you with exposure. Fuck off, Ubisoft. Make your own goddamn game. One combo spam until eventually doesn't work, so it tries slight difference, just spam that. Probably. So, good news and bad news for Beyond Good and Evil 2 fans. So this is from 3 days ago. I'm trying to find when like the actual post would have been. Basically, Beyond Good and Evil 2, even though they've been quiet about it for years, is still in development, and it passed an internal milestone, whatever that means. But they have a new game director because I believe Michel Ancel left Ubisoft? Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe Michel Ancel, the original director of Beyond Good and Evil, who was supposed to direct Beyond Good and Evil 2, I think he left the company. Yeah, I mean, like, I guess it's just like fans of the game that are excited for the sequel. But they have a new creative director in Fozzie Mesmer. And for people that don't know Fozzie Mesmer, actually I have his website up here real quick, and these are just some of the games he worked on with like Ubisoft. Well, I mean, the Battlefield games are DICE, but he worked on some Battlefield games. He worked on Battlefront 2, Mario and Rabbids, which people like, Star Wars Outlaws, which has been doing fine. Outlaws is in a weird spot from what I understand because it sold okay, but also everybody that played it is like, wow, this is one of the best to nothings I've ever played. Like, it's the usual Ubisoft kind of empty feeling. But it's worth noting that he worked on the recent remaster of Beyond Good and Evil, so it's not like it's coming out of nowhere that this guy's working on it. But Ubisoft, they're releasing Pirate Yakuza a week early to compete with Shadows instead of Monster Hunter. Oh my god. I mean, the Yakuza, or Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii, I mean, that boat combat looks good. That boat combat looks slick. Of course, I don't know how it actually handles, but yeah, that's what I hear for Outlaws, is that Everybody really likes what Outlaws does, but it doesn't do a whole lot different from Ubisoft's usual formula. But the reason why I wanted to bring this up real quick is it's interesting. Because they say that they're disbanding Montpellier Studios, but at the same time, Montpellier continues development on Beyond Good and Evil 2. I don't think this game is ever coming out. I don't think they're ever going to pivot, into another studio. I don't think any other studio wants to pick this up. It has been in development hell for years. Oh yeah, this is vaporware. Here's the thing. I would love to eat my words. I would always love to eat my words. That there's a reason why I'm always such like a downer when it comes to this stuff, because I don't want to be right. I almost never want to be right. Because if I'm wrong, that means we get a good game. Or at least we get a game. It actually happens. Exactly. Yeah, this game was announced so long ago. Development farm upstate. So I would love to be wrong. Whenever I'm such a downer on I don't think this game is going to be made. Again, I don't want to take too much oxygen, but don't forget, Game Freak and Nintendo are currently in court with Pocket Pal, the Pal World developers. I would love to be wrong, and I would love for Pal World to win these lawsuits. But being the downer, I'm gonna say well, of course Nintendo has more money, more lawyers. They're just gonna choke out Pal World until they can't pay for legal fees anymore. I would love to be wrong. Not expect much, then have expectations be sad? Yep. What was it, 4 years in a row they canceled E3, and finally this year they were like, it's not coming back ever. Super unfortunate. So, yeah, little bit of a funny news thing here now. Does anybody remember The Day Before, a game that came out last year? The scam game. So, Fantastic is a company that does bullshit. Look how Midnight Releases disappear. Stupid. Will Smith was not in The Day Before. Wait. The Day Before survival game. So The Day Before was just a survival game in a dead city. It didn't do anything special, and it was broken and bad. So Fantastic, basically in the same breath how Surgent Studios announced a project and also announced that they didn't have money, Fantastic basically said they took down a Kickstarter of theirs that was sitting at 15%. They had raised $3,000 of a $20,000 goal. So they took down the Kickstarter and then put up another one. This is the dumbest. So they're trying, I don't know what they're trying. But they announced their new game to come out, or their new game that they're putting up on Kickstarter is a prop hunt style horror game just called Items. I had to do a search on page thing with Google just to find the name of this game. This is such a bad name for a game. It's so fucking funny. I think what they're trying to do is get search engine optimization, because items is such a generic word used in a lot of games. If you look up items game or game items, you're not going to get this. This game is gonna be fucking buried, and it's gonna be bad. Steam holds money for 30 days, 0 chance they could have lasted even. Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, no, that's the... Yeah, no, but like... This is the only reason why I wanted to bring this along, is because I thought it was so fucking funny that they just had a game called Items. It doesn't do... Like that... Oh yeah, this is the day before. But... This name is nothing. This game is gonna be nothing. Again, like, it's not gonna be vaporware in the same way that Beyond Good and Evil 2 is gonna be vaporware, in the sense that, like, it's just an ambitious project that's gonna die in development. This is just a scam. And I love that everybody always calls out Fantastic on being fucking scam artists. And Fantastic just don't stop. Kinda bold, you know? But yeah, I think that's... Oh, there goes my pen. Here we go. It's just funny. I just think it's so funny. And, yeah, I think it's a bit on the lighter side, because we can all point and laugh at them, because we know this is going to be bad. This isn't going to make its fucking Kickstarter goal or anything. But, last thing is Xbox had a showcase. Is another layer of irony. Here's the thing. There's no U. It's FNTSA or F fucking hang on. Like, this isn't a typo. This is actually how you spell it. FNTASTIC. So it's fantastic, but that's dumb. It's I think it's meant to be funtastic. And which again is so hard. They are so fucking bad with SEO, with search engine optimization, because they have games like Escape Factory. This was the project that didn't work out, that they just canceled. Escape Factory. That's such a fucking nothing name. The Day Before. That's such a nothing name. Items is the worst offender here. That's such a nothing name. And then when your name is pronounced one way but spelled a different way, good luck. They are so fucking bad with SEO, and I just think that's so funny. Alright. Ah! Hello, Harris. Oh, November's coming up. Make sure you vote. Vote. Actually, this VOD is going up after the election process. Make sure you vote. Even down to local elections. Local elections are going to be the thing that affects you the most in your day-to-day, so always make sure you vote. The day before the Escape Factory, it blew up. Alright, so Xbox had a showcase, and I skimmed it, but I kind of got the idea. And there was one thing... Oh, this is not the... Well... Alright, this is not the one I wanted to bring, but that's fine. We're already here. This will be fine. So, the Lake House DLC for Alan Wake is out. I didn't hate this presentation. You know, it wasn't egregiously long, is the thing. Like, I think the article even says, like, short but sweet showcase, which I can agree with. So the Lake House DLC for Alan Wake is out. I liked Alan Wake 2 a lot, and I'm probably going to get the season pass at some point and play through the DLCs on stream. The Night Springs DLC and then the Lake House DLC. So that's cool. Right. Bloober Team's next game. So, Bloober Team put out a statement. I don't remember if it was at... I thought you were saying Alan Wake 2 was fraudulent before you played it. I did not like I did not like Alan Wake 1. Yeah, God forbid. I did not like Alan Wake 1. I think Alan Wake 1 wore a lot of its inspiration on its sleeve, and there was the meme going around calling the game director a hack because he just like kind of copied and pasted and then like changed the names of like he filed the names off of like Stephen King stuff. And there's still a lot of Stephen King inspiration in Alan Wake 2, but like Alan Wake 2 is probably one of the best horror games I've ever played. I loved Alan Wake 2 so much. It had extremely inventive puzzles and mechanics. It had genuinely interesting storytelling. I think it took a lot of the kind of there was a lot of stuff in Alan Wake 1 that it felt fumbled. Like, a lot of the ideas felt fumbled. But Alan Wake 2 picked up the ball and ran all the way to the end zone with it. Alan Wake 2 is so fucking good. Like, I get it. And I'm happy to be wrong. I didn't want to just play a really big, bad game. I'm so happy that Alan Wake 2 was good. So, Bloober Team, right after the very successful Silent Hill 2 remake that came out earlier this month, I think, they announced a new game, and I think somewhere along the way, they said we're done making shitty games. Like, a representative from Bloober Team said I think that's the actual quote. We're done making shitty games, which they made a lot of like mid games, a lot of like 5 out of 10 games. But I think it's really funny to be self-aware enough to be like, hey, we got one right and we want to stick with this momentum. Like Silent Hill 2 remake did very well, is received pretty well, except for gross people online who are like, why did you not make the female characters more attractive? Shut the fuck up. Which is like the only bad thing I've heard about the game is those kinds of people. Really, really thought they'd find a way to fuck it up. You know, it's good when from creepy incels. Exactly. But I think it's so funny to be self-aware enough to be like, hey, this is our first like super, super successful game. We want to roll with this momentum. So I'll keep an eye on Chronos the New Dawn, but I don't know. I think the reason Silent Hill 2 remake did really well is just because it is Silent Hill 2 and Bloober Team just made it look nice. Character development is no longer inhaling copium that Halo will ever have a good story in multiplayer again. I mean, to be fair, I haven't played a lot of like the newer Halo ones, but I thought Halo Infinite's multiplayer was received pretty well. At least I knew people that were playing a lot of Halo Infinite multiplayer. Oh my god. It's so funny that the best Silent Hill thing in like a decade has been Halo Infinite was good for 35 seconds. Yeah, but I bet that was an insane 35 seconds. Alright. Blind Fire. This one was with the belief it would get better. It didn't. Xbox spent reportedly millions to make a new engine for the Halo series, then ended up being used for one game, and now they're using Unreal 5. Oh my god. Do they own... They don't own DICE, right? DICE is still an independent developer. Hang on. No, not games that use DICE. DICE... video games. Is DICE owned by... Oh, it is a subsidiary. It's a subsidiary of EA. Okay. But the Frostbite engine looks so fucking good. I want more games in the Frostbite engine that aren't Battlefield. Because as Battlefield is whatever. Alright. Blind Fire. I honestly don't even remember which one this is. Let's, oh boy, look. A sci-fi first-person shooter. Oh boy. How could I forget? How could I forget? Where everybody looks like that one woman from, Mass Effect. Alright. How could I forget? Sure. EA had gotten better over the years, or if their competitors lowered the bar. I mean, EA is not without its fuck-ups, but I think at this point, because we're entering an era in the games industry where everybody is monopolizing, you know, tons of bigger companies are just buying up more and more studios, and I mean that's been a critique of Xbox. Like Xbox bought up a bunch of studios without knowing how they would manage them. Krafton is buying up some companies. PlayStation is buying up companies. The studio formerly known as... Oh my god, I can't remember their name. What the fuck is that conglomerate called? Embracer Group. Embracer Group, which is, I think, still disbanding into 3 smaller companies. Like, everybody buys up fucking studios. I love the Fallen Order games. Just want to believe. Yeah, again, I would love to be proven wrong, but like at this point there are so many studios that are now subsidiaries or owned by other studios, and there's a lot of good studios that now have oversight from shitty studios, from shitty companies, because they made a bunch of money by, you know, cutting corners, shitty business practices, that they were able to buy up a bunch of these smaller, less morally reprehensible studios. So I think now it's just a case-by-case basis of shit. You know, there could be some games that are, you know, announced and released in the same year, you know, announced early in the year, released in time for the holiday season, and like, oh my god, it's not broken day one. And but again, I think you mentioned it earlier, Arrow, where like that's for every one great game, there's 10 shit games. Yeah. All right. So yeah, Blind Fire. Yeah, Kotaku says it perfectly right here. Standard shooter formula. It looks fine. It looks like laser tag. It's like it's played in like dark environments. I think it's played in dark environments, and the idea is that you have it's fucking laser tag, the game, whatever. It looks fine. Like a Dragon. Like a Dragon, Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii. Again, the boat. I just want to find a still of this boat combat. Hang on. Like, it looks so cool. I'm nowhere near this point in the Like a Dragon timeline. Like, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know what Majima's doing. Is Is this turn-based or real pirate stuff? It looks like real pirate stuff. Yeah, it's a hack and slash sword combat. It's real time, like ship fights, and then you board the ship, and it's very is Onimusha the game I'm thinking of? Dynasty Warriors. I don't know if Onimusha is also the same kind of game, but it's very... Did you see that? Wait, did you see that? Did you say drifting in a pirate ship? Did anybody ask for... Where is it? Drifting in a pirate ship? And yeah, Samoa Joe. This game is gonna be so fucking good, but I feel like I need to know what the hell is going on in the Yakuza games, because Infinite Wealth also took place on like a tropical in Hawaii. So I feel like I need to play... I feel like there's a domino effect of like I need to play so many of these games first before I can get to this one to know why is Majima here. Saw Skull and Bones fail and said fuck it. RGG, I'm so amazed that RGG is consistent and consistently good. You know, not all of their games might not like blow the competition out of the water, so to speak, looking at the pirate game. Make you play 7 eventually. But like what about 1 through 6? I just bought 0. 0 was like $5. 0 was on sale for $5, which is a great fucking... Look, okay, anybody that has like PlayStation, Yakuza 0 is currently on sale for $5, which is a great fucking price for that game. That is a game that is worth full price, which I think full price is normally only like $20, but $5 for 0. Yeah. So, like, I'll play 7, I'll play the Yakuza games eventually, and I know that like 7 with the introduction of Ichiban is sort of a new entry point for players, but like a shocking amount of people have. But I also heard good things. Like, my partner had a great time with the other ones. 0 through 4 is what she's finished. I loved Judgment, though. I loved Judgment. That's why I said that, like, Tales of Kinsera Zhao is in, like, my top games that have released this year. Because I played a lot of great games that just weren't from this year. Alright, next slide. Yeah, this was probably the most, if I'm being honest, the most eye-catching game. Mouse PI for Hire. It is a first-person rubber hose style shooter mystery game. Like, it's in the rubber hose style of like 30s cartoons. I'm probably gonna, not to say I'm gonna get it at like launch, but like I'm gonna want to play this game on stream. I think this game looks so fucking fun, and it will be coming to systems that I play: PlayStation, PC.
I can never remember how to perfectly format my citation.
Get the fuck out of here, Grammarly. I'm listening to lo-fi. So yeah, I want to play it. This game looks so fun. It's such a unique... Subnautica 2. Do you like Subnautica? Subnautica 2. I don't care. This is for somebody. That's what I like about showcases like this, is there's something for somebody, you know? If Mouse PI for Hire is for me, Subnautica 2 is for somebody else. Which, I mean, Subnautica is such a successful game. I'm not surprised. Animal Well. Animal Well is another one that I feel... Below Zero, I believe, was just a, like, largely expansive... It's like a Halo 3 ODST, where I think it was... Again, I haven't played it, but from what I understand, it was planned as a DLC, got too big, so that it got its own standalone release. But, like, Halo 3 ODST was not Halo 4. This game feels like... I don't mind the presentation. Again, like, side-scrollers aren't my favorite. But this feels like a game that is going to be recommended for me to play on stream. Like, right away, I'm not in love with it. But I feel like once I hear reviews from people whose opinions... It was Halo More, yeah. Once I hear reviews from people whose opinions I trust on games, not just, you know, see good or bad reviews, you know, once people I know have played the game and I hear, you know, their opinions on it, this feels like the kind of game that's going to be recommended for stream. Right off the bat, not in love with it. I'm out of tea. Eden Zero. It's just an anime game. It's by the creator of Fairy Tail. Eden Zero is like a sci-fi thing from the creator of Fairy Tail. I sure would love to see real gameplay. There we go. Cool, so we got, like, tons of cool cutscene stuff. Alright. If you like that creator's stuff, Fairy Tail, Eden Zero, like, if you like that creator's... This is for somebody. Like most anime games, it's probably for somebody. Wow, great shot. Alright. Give us Attack on Titan 3. Or maybe it's too morally questionable for them. Couldn't tell you. I never got into Attack on Titan. From a former Dragon Age creator. Dragon Age creative director and lead designer, Mike Laidlaw. I missed that part. Again, I skimmed the showcase. This looked generic, if I'm being honest. Nothing about this sticks out to me. It looks like a hodgepodge of Breath of the Wild, Dragon's Dogma, and Ubisoft. Phoenix Rising is the one I was thinking of when I saw this. I definitely thought Phoenix Rising. This is for somebody. I feel like somebody's gonna play it, and I feel like this is the game of the showcase where it's like, wow, more people weren't talking about this. You know, I'm surprised more people weren't talking about this game. One moment, I need to blow my nose real quick because I am still unwell. Again, it's for somebody. This is going to be somebody's most underrated game of 2025. Sure. More power to you. I never want to yuck anybody's yum. If you like video games, I also like video games. That's crazy. We should be friends. Alright. I also don't remember this one. Oh, the not Elden Ring. That's right. Yeah, the not Elden Ring. Sure. I mean, it looks a little more hack and slashy than FromSoft games. Olden Bracelet. Here's something I noticed. When it comes to all of these Soulsborne, Souls-like games, which it feels... It feels really counterproductive to the genre to call all reactionary stamina-based action games like that Souls-likes. You know, there's tons of games in the space. I'm tired of them. Like, I never super fell in love with them. But people that I know that enjoy this genre of game, and it's not just the Bloodborns and the Elden Rings and the Dark Souls, the FromSoft ones, but like the Surge, Lies of P, Neo, and Mistfall Hunter. Something I've noticed is people who love the genre almost never break away from the FromSoft games, the FromSoft family of this style. Like, I know what makes Dark Souls iconic and not Demon Souls, even though it was made by the same people. Well, so here's the thing. So I know a lot of people that really like Demon Souls, really like Sekiro, really like I feel like there was another one that wasn't just Bloodborne and Dark Souls or Elden Ring. Basically, okay, broader strokes. I could probably think of 10 people that I know, just off the top of my head. 10 people I know that love the Dark Souls games. Of those 10 people, I think only like one of them played Lies of P from last year. And didn't really like Lies of P. You know, but Lies of P was one of the big Soulsborne games. It's probably the second biggest Soulsborne game of the year, that because it wasn't Elden Ring. I get why everybody's wanting to cash in on this style of game. But like, you're right in that none of them know what makes none of them have the same flavor as the FromSoft games because it's FromSoft. The creative people behind the games are what make the games. That's what makes art, is the people who make it. So, not to disparage the genre, the greater realm of this style of game, but people like the FromSoft games for that FromSoft flavor. I wouldn't be opposed to, you know, the other ones. Like, I'm fairly certain just through PlayStation Plus or maybe PlayStation sales, I have access to Neo 2, The Surge 2, Lies of P. I think I have access to like all of those. I wouldn't be opposed to trying them, but I think I would sooner. Your junior chef following the recipe? Yeah. And again, that just comes from leading the charge in an innovation to the genre, is what I'll call it. You know, I would say Demon Souls was a little ahead of its time, but you know, I have the original like PS3 version of Demon Souls, the PS5 remake, and those are kind of, at least aesthetically speaking, different games. I've actually had like a lot of conversation with Patches about this, in that like Demon Souls 1 and Demon Souls Remake, obviously they look different because different companies, you know, one was FromSoft, the remake was by Bluepoint Studios. But like, even like the color palette is different. A lot of the designs just don't hit the same in like a weird way of like the remake models are like a little too clean. Like just, I guess, what was it called? The Belfry Demon? Is that the one I'm thinking of? Hang on. Demon Souls. No, not Belfry Soul. Um, I can't remember the demon I'm thinking of, but there's an early boss fight in Demon Souls, and like the original one looks better. Like, there's something about making the design so clean and crisp and clear in a remake that kind of takes away from the, oh, you're like a weird, gross, like ethereal, like otherworldly demon. It's whatever. Yeah, it's whatever. I guess just my overall point is I wish companies would just do things a little more unique instead of just trying to follow the trendsetters. This is for somebody, I think. Wheel World, the latest in a long line of sports game, sport adjacent games. Like, where's my cursor? Okay. This looks very Roller Drome. If people even remember Roller Drome from like last year, it immediately died. Ollie Ollie World, I think, was another one. It's just, this is for somebody. You like bikes but don't want to go outside?
Have you been to the new art space Circle? It's square.
Yeah, it's fine. That's for somebody.
Thanks for sharing this Red Baron with us, Willow. It's so delicious it makes me want.
Phasmophobia is coming to console. That's cool for Phasmophobia fans. I didn't mind Phasmophobia. I fell off when I heard allegations. Like, there were some shady things going on with Phasmophobia. Like, one of the developers was like accused of something. I don't remember the specifics, so all of this is like allegedly. One of the developers of Phasmophobia was accused of something, and the rest of the team defended. Don't know whatever happened with that. I like Phasma though. I will say, like, this is a fun game. It's hard to say that, like, oh, I'm happy it's coming to like other consoles so more people can play this game, because it is a fun game. But I don't know whatever happened with those allegations. And again, all of this is like allegedly. I'll look into it at some point maybe, but Phasma's coming to console, which cool for Phasma fans, people that want to play this game with other people, you know, like if you have a friend that doesn't play on PC. I think crossplay. Yeah, it's coming to other consoles and stuff, PS5 and what have you. Hopefully there's crossplay. This is another one I just don't remember from skimming. Oh, Boy and His Dog. Sure, A Boy and His Dog. Oh, that... I did not see that face when I was skimming. Hang on, where did that go? No, why won't you pause? Hello? There we go. Doesn't look awesome. Again, this is for somebody. It's not doing anything for me though. There are some times when they gave the dog the Kratos red mark, and he's dressed in the blue and yellow of Atreus from Ragnarok. That's funny. There are some points where like I see a bunch of games announced and only like 2 of them really like do something for me. It makes me wonder if I actually still like games. Cause like there's so many games that were announced or shown off at this partner showcase where I was like, cool. I mean, I still love games. I'll always love games, but like, cool. That's for somebody. Wu Shang Fallen Feathers. Not Dark Myth Wukong. We promise it's not Dark Myth Wukong. It's a very pretty game. This looks like fucking identical gameplay, almost. And again, it's... The devs behind Wu Shang describe it as a Souls-like action RPG. Cool. Yeah, not everything is, and that's the point of like art and, you know, expression like this, is not everything is going to be for everybody. But like, this is what, the third one of these games shown off at the showcase that looks fucking nothing. I'll wait to hear reviews, but not really doing a whole lot for me. Come on, can we? There we go. Okay. 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 Souls games are all RPGs? Yeah, weird, huh? Crazy, huh? Alright. New from Remedy. The same company that made Control, Alan Wake, Quantum Break. They have announced a Left 4 Dead-like co-op. I think it's a 3-player max. But, you play as a containment unit in the Federal Bureau of Control, where Control took place. I'm probably not going to play this one. I really, really I would like to think that this would have nothing to do with the greater narrative in the games that Remedy
Searching for music for your next video?
makes. All of the Remedy
Then you need to
games
check
that
out
are
our
like
list.
a tied,
With amazing new music added daily, and one
like shared universe. I would like to think that this has nothing to do with that. Don't make me play it. Don't make me play FBC, Federal Bureau of Control Firebreak. I'm so tired. Like, once I was finally like on board with Remedy games, and I was like, oh my god, Alan Wake 2, a good one, finally. They release one that I'm not even excited about. I don't even care. Guess this will be your next pain playtime? No! Was that it? That was the last one. That was the last thing announced at... Go back. Ah, cool. It won't go back. Nope. Alright. It just died. What the fuck? Alright. Showed you the floors lined with barbed wire? Absolutely. Well, that's all the gaming news I had this month. Does anybody have anything else that I didn't cover? So again, we briefly skimmed the Game Freak and Nintendo leaks. I didn't want to really talk too much about them. The Surgeon Studio stuff. Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. Ubisoft closing Montpellier, but still going forward with Beyond Good and Evil 2. The Day Before devs doing crazy shit, and the Xbox showcase. Not a whole lot going on, but I wanted it to be a light stream today. If you can't tell, I'm still dying, and I want to give my voice time to rest so that I am hopefully good to go for the week going forward. You know, I want to have like a consistent... I want to get back to the consistent schedule, you know. I don't think there was 1 week in the month of October where I streamed for all of my scheduled days. I think there was just always something that came up, and last week I was so sick. Thursday was already like a planned off day. That was it. Thank you. I knew there was something, because I also didn't bring up the Like a Dragon show, which I haven't watched yet. I have not watched the Like a Dragon show yet, and I don't really want to hear anything about it. I want to go into it just completely, without any preconceived notions. But yes, Epic versus Google lawsuit? Wait, I don't know about this one. Epic, Google. Maybe I should specify. Epic versus Google lawsuit. Epic is suing Google again. This is from the very end of last month. Okay. So I wouldn't have gotten to this. 4 years after Epic sued Google for running an illegal App Store monopoly, a case it won this past December, Epic is suing again. Fortnite game developer has filed a second antitrust lawsuit against Google, and now additionally Samsung, accusing them of illegally conspiring to undermine third-party app stores. You know what? I kind of hope Epic wins this. I don't care about Fortnite and it makes $1 bajillion and stuff, but like Epic is kind of the runner-up game launcher. It's like Steam, Epic, and then GOG. Interesting. 2020. It didn't yet have its own mobile app store, and now it does. On August 16th, it launched the Epic Game Store on Android globally and on iPhones in the EU, where the EU Digital Markets Act forced Apple to allow alternate stores. Honestly, that's really cool for consumers. The more choice a consumer has, the better. That's why, console exclusivity, lame. Yeah, okay, that was one I do, I think I had that note on a different sticky note. That was just a brief thing. There was a Epic one last week, I think. Hell yeah. So there was a thing passed in California that basically said any digital storefront for games can no longer say that you're buying the game. You're buying a license for the game that can be revoked at any time. California passed a law that said all digital storefronts had to do that, and I think Steam just took that globally is what happened. Steam was like, okay, we have to do that now in one place. We might as well just update the TOS worldwide, which is cool. I think that is 100% in the favor of consumers. I'm absolutely a fan of that. And I think more storefronts should adapt this and make it big, bold letters. Not buying the game, you're buying the license. But yeah, the God of War show, I was so devastated when I heard that. I was so excited for the God of War show. I hope it still happens, and I hope it's good. Oh my god. Because The Last of Us show was good. They can do good. There can be good game adaptations, or show and movie adaptations of games. Yeah. What else is new? Alright. I think if it's alright with everybody else, I'm gonna get out of here. It was a fairly quiet month for games, thankfully. Like I said, I want to rest my voice. Very short stream today, but in the hopes that we have more stream days this week. Could be so good Hollywood doesn't understand. I mean, just do what The Last of Us show did. They kept Neil Druckmann on for The Last of Us show, and he directed an episode and stuff, and it was good. The show was good. Just get Cory Barlog. If Cory Barlog stays on the God of War show as a consultant, as a creative mind for the show, I think the God of War show will still be good. So long as the creative director of the recent games is still in charge, or in a position of power on the project. Okay. I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to get more tea. I'm going to rest my voice. But yeah, this has just been a fun little escapade into what's going on. Let's pull up some socials. If you're watching this on YouTube, thank you so much for hanging out. I want to thank people for hanging out. This was what? Just an hour? That's fine. Just a little toe dip into streaming after taking a few days off. And as you can probably hear, my voice hasn't fully recovered yet. But yeah, if you're watching this on YouTube, thank you so much for hanging out. If you want to know when I go live, you can follow me on Twitch. It's free, it's easy, and we hit 100 followers this month. Halloween is going to be the ET stream. Even if I still sound like this, we're doing ET. Which, you know, it's going to be bad, it's going to be painful. Why should I not also be in physical pain when it happens? So yeah, Halloween is going to be ET. That's going to be a nightmare. At 150 followers, we brought that threshold down. We're going to be doing increments of 50. So at the 50 threshold, so 150, 250, so on, it's going to be a sexy game, because that's what people want in the Discord server, apparently. If you want to make your voice heard, there is a Discord server. People vote on the games that I play. People recommend games. We talk about the gaming news, like... If you want to continue the conversations, if you're curious about anything that I talked about here, all of these sources will be put into a particular tab in the Discord server. But the hundreds increments, so 200, 300, those are going to be pain. And then the 50s, 150, 250 is going to be pleasure, is how we're going to stagger these milestones. So 100 followers on Twitch, it's pain time. 150 is going to be Akiba's trip. Sure, why not? Why not? There's also a Patreon, which is just a more direct tip jar to me. If you want to support me more directly, the Patreon is the place to do that. You also get, hang on, let me watch this. Hey, guess what happened? Guess what happened today? When I started stream. Aren't those the same thing for you? No.
We buy and book at discounttire.com.
We have
The world's largest tire is in what U.S. city? I got
the first app.
Hard, Michigan. That's correct.
Get out of here, ads. All right. All right. First episode of Silver Screeners long-form scripted content is up on my movie channel, Silver Screeners. And if you want access to that early, as well as updates on what's going on, as well as your name read out before a stream, in scripted content like Silver Screeners, the Patreon would be the place to do that. You get, I think, a week early to Silver Screeners. As those get done, those are going to be a bit more infrequent, just as I have ideas and as I'm able to work on them. But yeah, first episode of Silver Screeners is out. It covers comedians doing dramatic work, which I think basically Silver Screeners is going to be a scripted format where I just talk about movies that inspire me, things that really move me as a creative. It's going to be a lot of recommendations for, hey, please check out these movies. These are really cool movies. But I felt like it was a very poignant time to do it because this year, 2024, marks the 10-year anniversary of Robin Williams' passing. And Robin was, I believe, sort of the pinnacle of comedian and dramatic actor. I think he was the archetypal person that could do both. So I just felt like it was a very opportune time to talk about him and his prolific work. But there's other comedians that I talk about in that video that do really good fucking dramatic work. So yeah, feel free to give that a watch. It's not too terribly long, like 11 minutes, I think. Yeah, that was a lot of fun to work on, and I'd love to work on more stuff like that. But yeah, make sure, so there's the Patreon, there's the Discord, there's the YouTube channel with the VODs, YouTube channel Silver Screeners, there's my film podcast, Kill All Film Majors, that I do with Batch Moves, who was here earlier in chat. Where'd you go, you bastard? Yeah, no, I love KAFM. That's one of like my favorite things that I work on. Just a fun little side thing. KAFM is so much fun. And then there's an Instagram. I don't use it a whole hell of a lot, but it is there if people are interested. All right, I think that's everything that I have going on. So I'm gonna get out of here and let my pipes rest. So until next time, be good, be kind, treat people the way that you would want to be treated. And I'll catch you in the next one.